Hi everyone, this is Megzobo69 with Take the Red Pill. What is Take the Red Pill all about? Well, first let me hopefully remind you of a movie called The Matrix. There's a part where this guy named Neo has a choice to take either the red pill or the blue pill. And he takes the red pill and he finds out the truth about the world he's living in. Well, Take the Red Pill is pretty much similar to this, except the truth that we'll be seeking and exploring is the truth about religious dogmas, or maybe the untruth about religious dogmas. Now, children are raised up in the religious dogmas that their parents have taught them, and it's not because they choose to follow their parents' footsteps. More times than not, it's because that's what their parents indoctrinate them into. And so, of course, a child generally does not have the choice to say, I don't want to believe this, or I don't want to follow this path. So, when they become older adults, they do have the choice to do so then. However, this is where a lot of people continue taking this blue pill and following the religious dogmas that they've been taught ever since they were a child. They do not question things, they just simply go with the flow. And so, more times than not, what happens is, let's take the Bible for a second. A lot of people, before they even open up the Bible, they've already had their mind made up that everything there is true. They went there with the presupposition that what I'm going to read is factual because this is quote-unquote God's word. And so, a lot of times they do not evaluate what's written in there and do not see the errors or contradictions within the book, within the text. But there are other people as well that turn around and decide they're going to take the red pill and see how far the rabbit hole goes. And so a lot of these people, they do evaluate, they do compare what's in the book and start to see things that they've never been taught, that they've never seen before. Again, these are the things that we will be exploring, and most of the times I will be asking questions based upon what is actually in the book. So let me go backtrack a little bit to last week. I kind of ended on a note of Cain and Abel, but the topic pretty much started with, does God exist? Well, here's the thing. There have been many titles, many adjectives associated with God. Omnipotent, benevolent, you name it. You know, I'm omniscient, all-knowing. You know, you hear these things. Let me see if I can just forget about the omnis. Let me see if I can put it in better words. All-knowing, all-powerful, all good. So many titles like that, so many adjectives. Yet, are they true? I mean, do they really pertain to this God of the Bible? Well, somebody who has good morals, I'll use that for example, would be somebody who we would consider to be good. Yet, do we find that to be the case with God? Well, let's go back to what I was talking about last week, Cain and Abel. Today, in today's society, if somebody was to turn around and say that they will or did have carnal relations with their sibling, people would find that vile. There would be so many negativities associated with the act or with even the thought of it. Yet, we find that God actually allows that. Let me explain. You have Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel. Cain killed his brother Abel, and the only people that are left on the earth, as far as the Bible is considered, is Adam and Eve and Cain. Now, before I get into the act which I would consider to be immoral, here's one other thing I want to explore quickly because it actually happened before the act. When Cain was told that he had to leave, he turned around and asked God to put a mark on him, that whoever shall see him shall not slay him. Now, who was Cain afraid of? There was only Adam and Eve, are the only two other people on earth. Would it stand to reason that he was scared of his own parents? I don't think so. But yet, we do not have any proof or any knowledge of who was he actually afraid of. And so, an omnipotent God, all-powerful and all-knowing God, could have easily turned around and told him, well, no, you have nothing to be afraid of. Nobody's going to do anything to you. Yet, it almost seems like he got the mark and he left. Now, there are so many things that could have been prevented. Okay, I guess I'm gonna, now that I think about it, I'm gonna actually backtrack a little further back to Adam and Eve. Like I stated last week, God put a tree in the garden where he would know they would eat it. Now surely he should have known also, or did know, if he's all knowing, that is, that not just the fact that they would have eaten the tree, or excuse me, eaten of the fruit of the tree, but that they probably would have quote unquote gotten tempted. Yet he still continued on with his plans, put the tree in there, they ate of it, and then he punishes them. Well, here's the thing, again, he knew this, supposedly, if he's all-knowing, if he's God, like everybody says he is. He already knew that they were going to eat it. So why would you create something just to punish it? Because now I just simply went from the very beginning to the end of it. Why would you create something just to punish it? Does that make sense? So going forward again to Cain and Abel, here's the act that I want to discuss a little bit. Cain had a wife all of a sudden. Again, if Adam and Eve were the only two people on the earth besides Cain, it almost stands to reason that Cain was having carnal relations with his own sister. Now again, that's an act that we would consider very vile and just totally abhorrent. However, he had children with his wife or with his sister. Now here's the thing, there is no proof, there is no evidence anywhere in the Bible to substantiate a claim that maybe it was other people who were around, or another tribe, or there's nothing like that. So again, we have to conclude, we're forced to conclude anyway, that he had sex with his own sister. Now, would a moral God allow such a thing? Now here's the thing, either God allowed an immoral act to happen, or maybe he's really not all that omnipotent and they just did what they want to do and he could not stop it. Either way, the act itself is not something that, again, would be considered morally sound. But yet, an all-knowing and all-powerful God allowed it to happen. Now, these are the type of things that we will be exploring again. And like I said, it's going to be interesting, because there will be questions that I will ask, and I will also glean from questions other people have asked that maybe I haven't thought of, but still take the journey and find out where's the validity in them. Now, the one thing that I want you to understand again is this. This is not about changing what you believe, because I cannot do that. I will not do that. This is about providing the evidence, and then you decide what you want to do with the information. Now again, you're going to have a choice. You can take the red pill, or you can take the blue pill. You can take the blue pill and be in wonderland for the rest of your life. Or you can take the red pill and see how deep the rabbit hole goes. Either way, it's going to be your choice. Hopefully, your eyes will be open and you will make the choice and not be plugged into the system anymore. Because pretty much that's what it kind of boils down to. It's the system of religion where people are mindlessly obeying and just following things, not questioning things. And you know, there have been many things associated with religion that have not been, shall we say, morally correct. Again, I think I choose to take the red pill, know the truth, and see how far the rabbit hole goes. So until next time, hopefully you'll take the journey with me, and we will discover a lot more. You have a nice day, or a nice night, whichever one may be the one for you. Bye-bye.